So I'm gonna show y'all like the breakdown of this track. So I started off with this Omnisphere bass. It's like an echo bass, and I EQ'd the lows out of it. Yep. And then what I did, was it didn't have like a raw sub bass sound in the actual patch, so I got like a raw sub from Serum and layered it like a lot. So I have one sub with a sine wave going 2 octaves down, then a sine wave with 1 octave down. So when you play it, it's like there's more tonality. So if I turn the -1, the -1 sine wave off, it's just sub, but it adds a little flavor if I add the -1. If I turn it up, it'll be more obvious. See, this gives like a little bit more like an element of standing out in the mix. And then I did another bass that I think this one's just a higher octave. This is the other bass. Hold on. Yeah. So hold on. Give me a second. Yeah. This is just a higher octave. Again, to add just shine in the mix, so it's not like the sub is too deep to hear on other platforms than like headphones. And then added a respace to give it more stereo width, just so it's not all mono, because like you want a mono bass to give foundation, and then add like a respace or something wide to fill out that stereo image. So that's how I started, and then I started to add more melodic elements in the arrangement as we go on. Just some ambient bells to start to give the vibe of this song in the beat. And then I add this bass that fades in to transition into the track. It's in Serum 2, and the preset's called OTT Saw Wave, and it just comes in like this. I'll solo it so you can hear it better. Just add some build up. It's lagging quite a bit, but I add a lot here just so it's like very in your face, but I'll break it down. So I had this pluck from Zebra 2. This is the kind of foundational pluck, I think. Yeah, this is like the main pluck. So this is that. A good tip to add some character in your melodies and not sound them so robotic is add some like flare notes that just give an extra like little I don't even know how to explain it, like just in your melodies, switch up the tempo. midway. So add some long notes, add some short notes, add some high notes, add some low notes. I don't know any music theory. I just know it sounds good. Um, this then I added like another plug melody thing here. This isn't really that audible, but it adds some foundation for the rhythm, so it doesn't just sound like one complete mess. It's just there to give structure. Yeah. So again, in your melodies, add some of these like flare notes, where from note to note, there's a note in between that's really short, and it just gives it a little bit more character. So like this right here. And without it, it sounds like this. It's just like boring. Like that's the before. Then this is after. Just a little bit more bounce. And then I added this cool pad, also from Zebra 2 that I really liked. So. Yeah. And then I don't know what this is. I think this is just like a texture I added. Yeah, it's like a pad. I use that to fill out like the frequencies around like I think it was like 300 hertz because it was lacking some of that, just to give some, just to fill out the mix a little bit. And then I added this. I think this is a more thick pad. We'll see. No, this is a texture. I just like adding textures in my stuff because it gives it more character. Omnisphere is great for textures. It's like the best VST for textures. A lot of people dog on Omnisphere because they just think it has a weird sound sometimes, but if you know how to use it, then it's amazing. This is another sound. Just good sound selection is very important in production because you can have the same pattern and same melody MIDI, but have a boring sound, and then it just sounds terrible. But if you have good sound selection, you can make anything sound at least half decent. So, I don't know what this is. I'm gonna hear it and then I'll explain. That's the bass. I'm stupid. We already covered that. So that's all it comes in right here. And there's these little bell things from M1, great VST. That's that. The bell's called like, I'll tell you, because like I don't mind giving. Okay, so after we have these, after the bell, we have these. Very textured sounds. I don't know what I would call that. Probably like a bell pad, but I added it just to add some more texture and just a little bit more space in the mix. And I added this as well. This is just a sine wave, and it's just with unison, and I plucked it, and I did this because when I played the full thing, I looked at the stereo image, and it needed some more stereo width, and this sound added a lot, so I just kept it in. Because the worst thing you can do to your beats is make them sound thin. And then I added these little choir stab things from Omnisphere. They're amazing. They add a lot to this track. This part, I introduce the main lead of the track, and this is what really pulls the full thing together. I'll show you what I came up with. Very nice lead. It's nice, but it was lacking a lot of frequencies and width, so I layered this sound a lot. So the main layer that helped this shine was this Xenology layer. I think. Where'd it go? I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, I added a lot to this. It just gave it some low end and some stereo width. Layering makes a big difference if you know to layer. And all layering is, and how to get good at it, is find sounds that complement each other. So if I have a violin that's dominant in high frequencies and it's mainly mono, I want to layer that with a violin that's low frequency focused and a lot of stereo width. So that's what I did. I'll show you. So if we solo this, which one's the violin? That's not the right one. Hold up. So yeah, this is the main violin lead with no layers. Wrong one, hold up. Give me a second. This one. Sounds thin, right? If we add all the layers I did, we'll add just the first layer for now, and you'll see how much of a difference it makes. And then we can add another one. And then I added a brass to emphasize certain notes on the violin lead. So that soloed sounds like this. If I can find it. Yep. Yeah, so just gives it some more emphasis on certain notes to give it some character. Very important, so all your melodies don't sound the same and robotic. So all the layers combined on the violin lead, you get this. My fault. I like unmuted something. Hold up. My fault. Hold up. Need to fix something. There we go. Okay. This is all the violin layers played together. Big difference. Um, After this, um, what even happens after this? Sorry, I spent so long on this. I'm just like learning as we go. This is lagging so much, bro. My CPU hates me. Oh yeah, so what I did after this is I added the piano layer, and this is just the same as the violin lead. It's just copy pasted MIDI, but it gives it a little bit more punch because the piano notes have like a faster transient than the strings. So yeah, all I did on the MIDI that's different from the strings on the piano is I took away the flare notes because the flare notes on the piano on piano roll kind of sounded unnatural. Um, After this, I bring the bass in and the drums and everything just so it all kind of ties together. Um, I'll just play that if it even loads, and I'll pray that my FL Studio does not crash. That's not playing. Hold up. I'll try to play it. Yeah. Yeah. That's not gonna go well. So for reference, this whole part, all it is everything is playing together with the bass and the drums, and I'll solo the drums, and my computer will be able to do that, so that's good. And the drums are very simple because there's so much going on in the melody that you do not want complex drums because then it'll sound like a mess. So here are the drums. Yeah, I just like looked around for sounds that are kind of Deftones-y, but like it just adds good cadence and stuff. And then I added this little drum loop, very basic, like super basic. Then added these crashes to emphasize some parts and delay. And that's basically it for like the big drop part. And then if my computer will play what happens after, that'd be nice. So after everything is crazy, all the drums are going, I make it calm down very fast because if it went too crazy for too long, the listener get very overstimulated, which you don't want. You just want to have a little bit of chaos, and then the rest is organized. So the listener gets that big like drop, and then they get that nice cool down. So this is what happens after. Hold up. I need to like figure out how I can like make this play without bugging. Holy crap. Holy crap. Hold up. Wait, I got you. I can drag in the final render file, and then I'll show you where that is. If you couldn't tell, my computer is very slow, and doing really big projects on it is a bad idea. So, let me make sure it won't lag when I play. So, now I can play what I'm talking about. So the drums hit right here. Turn this down a little bit. It's probably gonna be loud. Yep, and that's the drum part, what I just like kind of talked about. And then in the end, all I did was just take away a lot of stuff. That's like and I only left like the calm stuff, so it's not as energetic, and the end becomes more calm instead of being energetic and then randomly cutting off, which you don't want. So I just kept like subtle things in to have a good end to the track. So like this and this, cool textures. It's like a flute texture, and then I think this is the bass. I kept the bass just because it's like a good foundation. Then I kept this sub, of course. I kept the Reese too. Just stuff. Just add some, like at the end of your tracks, just strip away the big parts and leave the little parts. So it's like a calm end. But yeah, that's the breakdown for this little track I made. It's just something light. I know it was like kind of all over the place, but I hope you learned something. And yeah, bye.